Now, Marvel fans, I hope you are prepared because we have some new and absolutely freaking mind-blowing leaks for the Secret Invasion show. And these leaks reveal a ton of crazy stuff about the show, including who among the Marvel Universe has been a Skrull and for how long they have been a Skrull. It's pretty freaking crazy. And so, of course, spoiler warning, although this might not be true, it is coming from a good 4chan account that has been getting a lot of stuff right. So first up in this video, we'll break down what the leaks are, and then in the back half of the video, I'm going to sort of give my reaction to the leaks and talk about what they mean for the fandom. Frankly, there's some things in here that might be really controversial to the Marvel fandom. So smash a freaking like on this video and let's begin. Okay, so first off, the leaks say that Rhodey is the Secretary of State. That is something that we've heard from other leakers. Next up, they said Valentina and Sharon Carter also appear. Again, something we have heard about before. Now, they next say Emilia Clarke plays Gaia, but also Abigail Brand. Nell is a code name. The Skrull pose as her, but also the real version. Similar to Ben Mendelsohn playing Talos and a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in Captain Marvel. It will be revealed that Rhodey and Sharon have been Skrulls since after Civil War. What the fuck? Next up, they say Armor Wars will be the aftermath of the series. Skrulls have been messing with worldwide tech on their benefit, and Rhodey has to clean up the mess. Quake will appear in episode 3, and in the last episode, the first appearance is sort of an a la Matt Murdock in No Way Home, and in the last episode, she is recruited by Fury for a new team. There's nothing that indicates whether or not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon or not. This is similar to the way they are treating Daredevil. Everett Ross is apparently a fugitive after Black Panther Wakanda Forever. He discovers a Skrull rebel cell and he barely survives that encounter. He tries to contact Fury, but only reaches Maria Hill. The real version of Nick Fury doesn't appear until the end of episode 1. At first, he doesn't trust Ross about the Skrulls infiltrating high ranks, but decides to investigate it. The rebel Skrulls see Talos as a traitor for not fighting for their right to a home for their own. The tone is similar to Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Andor. You can feel the paranoia of not trusting anyone. And then finally, they say about the action sequences, they took as a reference the John Wick saga. There's a scene of Maria Hill fighting a Skrull posing as her. And that's actually something I had heard as well, that they were looking to bring on the cinematographers or some of the choreographers from the John Wick saga. So, okay, yeah, that's pretty freaking crazy, guys. And there's a couple of different things that we have to go over. Let's start with the less crazy stuff, and then we'll get into the stuff that's just bananas. And I gotta talk about how I think the Marvel fan base is gonna react to this. So there's a lot of plot stuff in here that we had already heard about and we could have assumed, right? So Everett Ross being a fugitive after Black Panther Wakanda Forever, that makes a lot of sense. Him stumbling upon a Skrull cell and barely surviving seems awesome, and I hope that's done with a lot of crazy action. And I think it absolutely tracks and makes sense that the rebel Skrulls see Talos as a traitor. They want their own homeworld. They don't like the peaceful way, and I think that's really freaking cool, guys, because I was a person that when I saw Captain Marvel, I was like, what the heck? Now all the Skrulls are good guys and just refugees looking for a place to chill? That's so freaking lame compared to how awesome they are as villains in Marvel Comics. And so I frankly love the idea of the Skrull infiltrating the Marvel Universe and being at very high levels of the government of the United States and maybe government around the world. And it's super cool that we're going to be getting Quake. And we've heard a lot of rumors of Chloe Bennett coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe for this role. Seems like that will bear out, and she's going to be in 2 episodes. Episode 3, where she gets kind of like a fan favorite, you know, applause, coming back, very basic. And then she's supposedly inducted into a new team for Nick Fury at the end of the show. That's probably the Secret Warriors, and I'm really looking forward to what they do with that next. But let's talk about the big stuff, man. First, let's start with the fact that freaking Rhodey, War Machine, has been a Skrull since after Civil War. Now, that is pretty freaking crazy. Now, a lot of folks thought this was probably going to be the case, but when you really think about that, it recontextualizes a lot of stuff from the last two Avengers movies, and it just like really makes it crazy to think back to what was going on there. And I've seen a lot of fans argue that this sort of cheapens some of the moments between him and Tony Stark and the death and all that. And while on the surface, I do agree, I wonder if they're going to do this thing with the Rhodey Skrull where he actually did start to really like people like Tony Stark. Like maybe it's possible, despite his mission mandate, that he began to what they call like go native, and he started to really appreciate Tony and the rest of the Avengers. I also think it's freaking crazy that he fought friggin' Thanos twice as a Skrull and was just defending Earth. But at the same time, depending on what was going on after the snap, I'm sure that the Rhodey Skrull still wanted to defend Earth and wanted to try to stop Thanos, because it affected the Skrull as well as the people of Earth. Like, that's kind of crazy to think about. I hope they actually like explore that a little bit more, and maybe they will down the line or something. But regardless, very, very big, crazy thing. Probably the thing that'll be revealed at the end of the first episode. And I do wonder if this is going to be that scene that we've seen in the trailers of Nick Fury talking to Don Cheadle's James Rhodes in that office, right? Him being the Secretary of State, very, very high up, and it's possible that they have some crazy conversation, and somehow, some way, Nick Fury is able to surmise that this is a Skrull. This is not actually James Rhodes, and I love the idea of that being done in like a really tense conversation. Now, Sharon Carter being a Skrull is a little bit more understandable. I think that character is kind of different when we meet her in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and a lot of people brought that up. They're like, what's going on with Sharon? Like, this is really wild. The Power Broker, that's pretty crazy and interesting, and I hope they do more with that. It is kind of interesting, but I don't know that many people are going to be looking at that like, oh my goodness, that's really ridiculous. That makes all this other stuff way crazier. However, when it comes to the Abigail Brand thing, I'm really confused by this. Like, we've heard that this character is going to be Talos's daughter, and that name Nell, that has been revealed by Daniel RPK like a long time ago. We were like, wow, that's the official name of the character. Really, really interesting. Now, a lot of folks did think this could be Abigail Brand, but the recent rumors and all the stuff about Nell and the fact that she plays a Skrull named Gaia, that seemed to dispel that. But now she really will be Abigail Brand, and I'm kind of confused by that. Is she Abigail Brand in the sense that there's a real Abigail Brand that she has turned into with her shape-shifting abilities and has infiltrated the whole operation like that? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, the people around this Nell character or Abigail Brand, do they know that that's a Skrull, or do they just assume that it's a human that's, or maybe mutant in the case of Abigail Brand, that's just working with sword, right? I think that's what it's going to be because of the way that the leak talks about Talos as a SHIELD agent in Captain Marvel. Like, maybe there's a way to have her be Abigail Brand in this show, and then for us to have an actual Abigail Brand played by Emilia Clarke. I mean, that could be kind of crazy, right? Abigail Brand is an awesome character. I do think Emilia Clarke would be cool as that character. So maybe she is that character and also playing the Skrull that's pretending to be that character in this show. And so again, I think it's important to note here, we don't know for sure if this is true, right? We gotta take this with a grain of salt like we always do with these leaks. But this does seem to track with a lot of stuff that we've heard about. And I think it would be mind-blowing if Rhodey is revealed to be a Skrull. Because the real Rhodey is out there somewhere, right? That guy is the star of the Armor War movie. And we've also heard that the Skrull are looking to use Stark tech in Secret Invasion. And perhaps that's why they're infiltrating the government, because maybe the government, via damage control, has the control of Stark tech now. And so it's so crazy that we might get this show setting all of this stuff up and then watch this incredible movie where the real James Rhodes is out there and now he's trying to clean up this mess that was created in part by a Skrull pretending to be him. It's really wild. It feels really ballsy compared to a lot of stuff we've gotten with Marvel recently. So I am personally absolutely down. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Smash a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And if you want to watch more, why not check out my review and reaction to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.